Okay, so we will now move on to the next chapter, which is joint product and byproduct costing. I know most of you had packed your bags. Sad luck. Anyway, yes. So, okay guys. So, joint product and byproduct costing. So, when we did process costing, what did I tell you? In process costing, the final output was consisting of homogeneous units. Absolutely identical units. But if you don't have identical units, you have two or more products which are manufactured at the end of a process, then we have to look at joint product and byproduct costing. So first we will try to understand what is joint product. So those products which are manufactured at the end of the process will be referred to as joint products. So what are joint products? Please write down. What are joint products? Joint products are those products which are manufactured from the same raw material, with an intention to manufacture them. Joint products are those products which are manufactured from the same raw material with an intention to manufacture them. That means when I started my process only, I knew that 1, 2, 3, 4 will be manufactured. Why? I wanted to manufacture them. That's why they are known as joint products. Whereas byproducts, what are byproducts? Byproducts are those products which are manufactured incidental to the main product. Byproducts are those products which are manufactured incidental to the main product, which means I did not intend to produce these products, but when I was producing my main product, on the side these products were obtained. That's why they are known as byproducts. So when it comes to joint products and byproducts, my treatment will be different. Okay, so let's first look at joint products, then we will move on to byproducts. Byproducts is very easy. Okay, it is joint products. So this chapter mainly concentrates on joint products, all those products which I intended to manufacture. So let's take this table. So let's say we have raw material X which is processed. Okay, along with raw material X, there is also labor, overhead, other expenses which are being incurred in processing this material X. Okay, once this material is processed, I get 3 products. Let's say A, product B, product C. Right? These 3 products are called joint products. Correct? Because they are manufactured from the same raw material in the same process, and I intended to manufacture them. Correct? So 3 joint products. Now, the biggest problem with joint products is what to do with these costs. I incurred material cost, I incurred labor cost, I incurred overhead costs. Who's going to bear this cost? All 3 are going to bear. But how? So this particular chapter is all about figuring out how A, B and C, the joint products, are going to bear these costs. And these costs are called as joint costs. Okay, so there are various methods which have been prescribed, okay, to to split these joint costs between these joint products. We need to know those methods. So your questions from this chapter also will be like that. So they'll give you one question, they'll tell you use this method to split joint costs and tell me what the profitability is. Then they'll give you, okay, use this method also to figure out what the joint cost will be and tell me what the profitability will be. That's all. This chapter is all about that only. Very, very easy chapter. So good if it comes for 10 marks. So increase your concentration. Yeah. So now, these joint products A, B and C which are manufactured may be manufactured in their raw form. They probably need more refining. So now that they have split off, once they become clear to us that there are 3 distinct products manufactured, A, B and C, that point is called as the split off point. Okay, that point is called as the split off point. So all costs incurred up to that split off point are called as joint costs. So now if A, B and C are manufactured and A, B and C are obtained in their raw form, they can be subject to further processing. Okay, they can be subject to further processing. So let's say A is further processed to further processed A. Again, to further process it, you have to incur some costs. Correct? But those costs are not joint costs. Why? Because they were only incurred on A. And I know that. So such further processing costs are known as specific costs. Similarly, joint product B can be further processed to further processed B. So again, some cost is incurred. That cost is unique only to B. That is not a joint cost. Only up to split off point, I have joint cost. Guys, is it okay? Similarly, C also may be further processed to C. Guys, is it okay? Everybody, that's it. So this is your joint product costing. So now, what are the various methods? Okay, what are the various methods to split this joint cost? So we're going to see that. First method, what? Physical quantities method. Guys, what does the name suggest? Physical quantities method, which means joint costs are apportioned based on the physical quantities of the products. So let's take an example. Okay, for example, I have two joint products. We'll take only 2 products, okay, for ease. So 2 joint products. Let's say I have 100 units manufactured for A and 50 units manufactured for B. My joint costs were, say, 1000 rupees. So up to split off point, 1000 rupees was incurred, and after that I saw that I got 2 products A and B. Now how will I split this 1000 rupees based on physical quantities method? Guys, in this ratio. The ratio of physical quantities. So physical quantities are 100 and 50. So when you split 1000 rupees in the ratio of 100:50, how much will A get? 1000 into 100 by 150. And B will get 1000 into 50 by 150. Guys, correct, no? So this is your physical quantities method. Very, very easy. Next method, average unit cost method. Guys, this physical quantities method and average unit cost method is like that supplementary rate. What did we do? We first divided that under absorption in the ratio of units. But then they'll ask you supplementary rate. Guys, so you do the same thing. Total divided by total units. You'll get that rate, then you'll multiply with units. Same. No change. So what do you do here? See this. Total costs up to split off point are divided by total number of units of joint products produced. So this gives me average cost per unit. So this was my example. So under average cost, what will I do? total cost by total number of units. So how much do I get? Total cost is how much? 1000. Total number of units how much? 150. So you divide. So how much do you get? 6.67. Now that you've got this, so see, I've given the formula, average cost per unit, total joint cost divided by total number of units produced. So I've got my average joint cost per unit. Now what? Share in joint cost will be units into average cost per unit. So for A, it will be 100 into 6.67. For B, it will be 50 into 6.67. So basically in this and this same answer you'll get. It's just that the method by which you're doing it is different. Just like that supplementary rate method and the ratio method. Guys, is it okay? Simple. Shall we move on? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Survey points method. Survey points method, also known as technical evaluation method. Also known as technical evaluation method. So guys, in this method what happens is each joint product is given points. So it is given by a technical surveyor who comes and figures out which product has more importance. And based on that, he gives points to each product. So what will you do with those points? You will multiply those points with the quantity of the products produced and then divide the cost in that ratio. So we'll take an example. So same example, I'll take AB 150. Now the technical surveyor says 2 points to A, 5 points to B. Okay, 2 points to A, 5 points to B. Now, weighted units will be what? 100 into points. So 200 units. And here it will be 50 into 5, 250 units. So if points were not given, between A and B, who was bearing more cost? A was bearing more cost. Now points are given, see who's bearing more cost? B is bearing more cost. So since both the products are different, it is not necessary that both products will have the same quality, right? Quality could be different. So if one of them has a better quality, then that product should take in more costs also, because it would have used up more of those expenses to make the quality better. So technical points method is a better method than the other two. So now what will you do? 1000 rupees will be divided in the ratio of 200 is to 250. Guys, okay? So that's what I've given here. See? Points are allocated to each of the products depending on their importance. Joint costs are allocated based on the ratio of the points into units produced. That's what we did. 200, 250 for each product. That's all. Guys, simple. Now, next method. Contribution margin method. First point to be noted. Contribution margin method can be used only when joint costs are split and given to us as variable costs and fixed costs. If joint costs are not given in the form of variable costs and fixed costs, we cannot use contribution margin method. Okay, so suppose now, assuming they have been given. Okay, they have given us joint costs in the form of variable cost. How much is variable? How much is fixed? So what do? So first you will divide variable costs in the ratio of quantity. Then you will divide fixed costs in the ratio of contribution. What is contribution? Selling price minus variable cost. Okay, so we'll take an example. So see here, same thing, variable and fixed costs separated on the basis of physical units and contribution respectively. That's what I gave you. So we'll take an example for this. Let's say A, B, units, same 100, 50, okay. Selling price for A is say 5, selling price for B is, let's say 10, okay, it will become the same, don't want. Let's say 20, okay. Now variable cost per unit is, let's say 2 here, and let's say this is 12. Okay, fixed cost, let's say is 300 rupees, or let's make it 200 rupees. Okay, oh, this will not, actually, one minute. Let's not take this per unit, we'll take this in total. Okay, 600 joint cost, we don't know, no, per unit, that's what we have to calculate. So this is the data which is given to us, guys. Okay, so this particular costs are my joint costs, right? And these joint costs are given in variable cost and fixed cost basis. So now I can use contribution margin method. So how will I use it? See this. First I will calculate sales. How much is sales? Units into selling price. 500. Here 500 into 20. How much? 1000. Correct? Minus variable cost. Now the problem is they have given variable cost as joint cost. Now this joint cost has to be split between A, B. How will I split it? In the basis of quantity. So split it, 600 rupees to be split between A and B in the ratio of 100 is to 50. So 200, 400. Guys, correct? 400, 200. Tell na properly. 400, 200. Guys, correct? So what do I get? Why am I doing sales minus variable cost? I need contribution. No, otherwise how will I get contribution? Then again separately I have to calculate. So calculate like this only. So what do I get? Contribution. How much? 100, 800 minus fixed cost. Fixed cost they have given 200. This 200 has to be apportioned between A and B in what ratio? Contribution, which is 1:8. How much do you get? 22. That's all. Exact 22. 22.22. And how 77? 200, no? 177.77. So this is my profit. Whatever. Profit. So how did I split my costs? Variable cost was split using quantity ratio. Fixed cost was split using contribution ratio. So if I ask you what is the total cost associated with A, what will you tell me? 400 plus 22.22. That's how I've split my joint cost. And if I ask you what is the total cost associated with B joint cost, you will say 200 plus 177.77. That is your contribution margin method. Guys, is it okay? I hope you are copying all this down. Yes. Now, coming to other methods. First one. These are market value based methods. Under these methods, we won't do everything today. Because if I do everything today, it will all go above your head. You will actually take the meaning of overheads literally. So I don't want that to happen. So we'll only do two methods. These two. Easy ones. Okay, what are these methods? Market value based method. Correct? So the first method is market value at split off point. Guys, see here. This was my split off point where my joint products were formed. A, B and C. Correct? So joint product A, joint product B, joint product C. Now these three products can be sold here also. Yes. So at whatever value they will be sold, that is called as market value at split off point. Value they will be sold means selling price. So if they are sold, say, at 2 rupees, 1 rupee, 3 rupees respectively. So you will calculate the market value. How will you calculate market value? Number of units into selling price per unit. You will get the market value. Then joint cost can be split in that ratio. That is what is the meaning of this method. Market value at split off point. This method is used when joint products are marketable at split off point without further processing. Is it okay? Easy. Next, market value after further processing. So apart from selling at this point, your joint products can also be further processed and sold at this point. Correct? That is the point after further processing. So when I calculate the selling price or when I calculate the sales value after further processing, that is called as market value after further processing. So whatever is the selling price per unit for A, B and C after further processing, when I calculate the market value, how number of units into selling price will give me the market value. So when I calculate market value for A, B and C and I split the joint cost in that ratio, then it will become this method. Market value after further processing. So market value after further processing, under this method sale value after further processing is considered. It is used when products are not marketable at split off point. Guys, is it okay? Everybody? So we will continue the remaining three methods tomorrow, which is reverse cost method, constant gross margin method, net realizable value method.